Hey, how's it going everybody? Cody here. Where'd you get that? This is a video response to Main Event Comics and Wrestling. Not too long ago from the date of this recording, he posted his favorite top 10 wrestlers of all time. And I'll go ahead and put a link in the description to his top 10 video. So please go check him out, like, and subscribe. So I will share my favorite top 10 wrestlers of all time. And while doing so, I'll share a bit of my wrestling collection. Keep in mind, this is not a list of who I think the top 10 greatest wrestlers of all time are. These are just my personal favorites. So let's get started. Coming in at number 10, Becky Lynch. Big time Bex, Becky Two Belts, aka The Man. Becky Lynch is consistently involved in the best matches of any given night. Her charisma alone can sell a match. She's so over, even as a heel, she is cheered. As 1/3 of the first ever women's match to headline a WrestleMania, she deserves to be considered in any wrestling top 10 list. The much-watched match that I have is the aforementioned headline match at WrestleMania 35 versus Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair for both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. So, to commemorate Becky Lynch, I am showing my Topps 2017 autograph. This is numbered 24 to 199. Actually this is a one-touch. I went ahead and put some Velcro here so I can hang it up and display it a little bit better on my wall. So that's what's going on back here. Cool. All right. Number 9, Raven. What about Raven? Raven certainly had that cool factor. He's got a large body of work in wrestling. He's one of only 5 wrestlers to hold singles titles for WWE, WCW, and ECW. Personally, I think he was underutilized during his run at WCW despite winning several titles, and he was grossly underutilized during his time at WWE. Still, he's got some great moments for both those organizations, but none more than his time with ECW and Impact Wrestling. The must-watch match that I have for Raven is Raven versus a very young AJ Styles for the NWA Heavyweight Championship from their weekly pay-per-view number 59. So to commemorate Raven, I am showing this this custom Funko Pop that I made. This is just the box, and I spent a lot of work. I've made several personal pops, custom pops, and as you can see, this one is signed by Raven himself. I do need to get it authenticated. And what's really cool, a cool story about this is I made this pop, and here's the actual figure. And I actually used 3 figures to make this. So most of this is clay, and I had to really get creative here. I did make that Sandman painting on his shirt, and so I went with the classic look. They do not have a Raven Funko. They do not think they ever will unless they do a ECW line. And hopefully that'd be really awesome. So anyway, I shared this on social media and I tagged Raven, and he thought it was really cool, and he said, hey, I want one. So I sent him the first one I made, and he said that, yeah, when you send this over to me, please send an envelope that he could send right back to me with some signed photos. And I went ahead and sent the window for this box to him, asking him to sign it. He went ahead and signed it. Now, he did sign it on the side instead of the front, which is okay because I can still see my custom Funko in all its glory. I have made several, and this one's definitely my favorite one that I've ever made. So that is really cool. I'm really excited about that exchange here with Raven. I still have those emails. I printed them out. It's really cool. Also really cool about Raven, my top 10 list here, he's actually the only one I've actually met in person, and he was really cool. He was really cool to meet, and my daughter got to meet him. So really cool guy. If you ever get a chance to meet him, I'd highly recommend it. All right, anyway, coming in at number 8, I have Jake the Snake Roberts. There's so many great wrestlers that never reached the top of the wrestling mountain, but they didn't need it to secure a long-lasting legacy. Jake the Snake is one of those wrestlers. He was a menacing figure, making him one of the top heels during the golden era of wrestling. A top-notch worker and one of the best on the mic. I would say his must-watch match would be Jake the Snake versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Saturday night main event. This was in October 4th, 1986. Man, I was young. I was about 3 years old at the time. All right, so to commemorate Jake the Snake Roberts, I have this Topps autograph from 2018. This is a SGC. I really like SGC. They call these tucks. So yeah, the SGC, it's compared to the other ones, it's cheaper for one. It fits my budget much better. The turnaround times are a lot faster. I really do like the double autograph here, the double grading. So you got one for the card. This is the grade for the card, and this is the grade for the autograph. And so if the autograph is less than a 10, they won't even put that. They will just leave the grade of the card. So just an FYI if you ever decide to send with SGC. So there you go. Coming in at number 7, I have Razor Ramon, the bad guy himself. Starting his run with WWE in 1992, Razor was perfect for the IC title. His ladder match with Shawn Michaels is one of my favorite matches. He was a larger-than-life figure oozing with charisma. And I'll admit, I use the Razor's Edge on my little brother a whole lot. The must-watch match, Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels in a ladder match, WrestleMania 10. To commemorate Razor Ramon, I have this Topps autograph. This is from 2015. This line, the 2015 Topps, this was probably my favorite one. I really love the design here, the kind of the side look, and he really pops out here. They did a great job with his photo here. So this is the back here, and this is numbered. So this is the black border, which meant that there were only 50. So this one's 21 out of 50. Really love this card. All right, moving on to number 6, the Ultimate Warrior. Speaking of larger-than-life characters, the Ultimate Warrior was every little boy's vision of what a superhero come to life would look like. His music, his entrance, would just send a rush of adrenaline and excitement. He is the only wrestler to hold both the IC title and the WWF Championship belt. After defeating Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6. It was the Warrior's first run with the WWF, lasting only 6 years, that captivated me. So much he landed in my top 10 list of all time. The must-watch match would be the Ultimate Warrior versus the Macho Man. This would be the retirement match at WrestleMania 7. So to commemorate the Ultimate Warrior, I have his cool rookie card, and I just acquired it recently. So love this card. I'm going to send this into SGC as soon as I can. Probably at the end of this video, I will work on that. And then I also have this really cool sketch, this original sketch that I won through Gabe's Cave. If you see a lot of my videos from before, I have quite a bit champion Gabe's Cave. Man, they're really cool. Check them out. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description to find them, to see how you can win some free sketch cards like this. All right, moving on to number 5, I have Sting. Sting and the Ultimate Warrior actually broke into the wrestling business together as a tag team called the Blade Runners. Sting could have ended his career in the early 90s, and he still could have been considered one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Just what an amazing career. His legacy is something to be admired. Even at the age of 63 in 2022, he's still wrestling at a high level. Of all the different variations of Sting, my favorite will always be what is known as Surfer Sting. His feuds with the Four Horsemen and Vader are just classic. The must-watch match for Sting would be versus Vader, Starrcade 1992. To commemorate Sting, I have this cool Superstar Topps autograph. This is from 2015. So I also have this in a one-touch, and to hang it up, got some Velcro here. This is a numbered card as well. This is number 82 of 99. All right. Coming in at number 4, I have the Texas Rattlesnakes Stone Cold Steve Austin. Arguably the biggest draw of the mid to late 90s, often credited with saving the WWE during the Monday Night Wars. Stone Cold was great on the mic. He had great ring awareness, From the sound of broken glass to his stone cold stunner, just about anything he did was must-watch TV. The must-watch match would be Stone Cold versus Bret Hart in their I Quit match at WrestleMania 13. He entered as the heel and left as the babyface. He lost the match, but he won the crowd over. Now, I don't have much on Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I really do love this Topps card. Just a really cool throwbacks from 2015. I love the retro look of it. And he's got that classic in-ring, crowd, getting the crowd ready for a match. Now, I do have it on my list of things to get would be an autograph card of Stone Cold, but those are hard to come by. A little pricey and outside my budget. I digress. Coming up, number 3, the Macho Man Randy Savage. I don't think Macho Man would have been in my top 3 back in the 90s, but his legacy just cannot be denied. Over time, I've looked at his body of work, and it has aged well. Here's a guy that lived the gimmick, having one of the most distinguishable looks, voice, and catchphrases. A great athlete with a fantastic finisher, his flying elbow drop can never be matched, no matter how many times people try to copy it. Must-watch match would be Macho Man versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at WrestleMania 3. To commemorate the Macho Man, this would have to be my figure here. This is the very first figure of this line that I purchased, and I could not have been more thrilled to get a figure from Walmart coming home. Anyway, this would, of all the figures that I have here in front of you, this would be the one that I would not part with. So, anyway. Alright, coming in at number 2, Bret the Hitman Hart. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Bret slowly became my favorite WWF wrestler in the early 90s. And every time he came down the ring, I envisioned I was the kid in the crowd he gave his shades to. I love that he was a small champion. I believed in him. To see a small wrestler outsmart and outmaneuver the bigger guys, it was everything for me. On my list, I consider Bret to be the best technical wrestler. He was a master at storytelling. And as far as submission finishing moves go, his sharpshooter is my favorite. Must-watch match would be Bret Hart versus British Bulldog, SummerSlam 1992, to commemorate Bret Hart. I have this SGC graded card, Topps, 2015, and the card is only a 9, too bad, but the autograph came out as a 10. So this is just a cool card. I got it at a very low price. This was before, this is back in 2015. So yeah, cards were way more affordable, especially autographs by guys like Bret Hart. So I missed the boat on a couple of other ones, like Shawn Michaels. But speaking of Shawn Michaels, coming in at number 1, Mr. WrestleMania himself, HBK, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. He got his start in the WWE with Marty Jannetty as the tag team, The Rockers. And I really like them. They're small, but athletic and exciting. It wasn't until the infamous heel turn during the barbershop interview when he super kicked Jannetty and threw him through the plate glass window. This catapulted Shawn Michaels to my favorite must-watch wrestler. Another small guy, great on the mic, very athletic. He could bring the drama. He was an innovator. He took part in the WWF's first ladder match, first Hell in the Cell match. He was a part of the first Elimination Chamber match, the first televised Iron Man match, and the very first Grand Slam champion. Unfortunately, his back injury made HBK miss out on some prime years of his life wrestling, but it was a blessing in disguise for him. He came back as a new person, and the second part of his career was arguably better than the first. The must-watch match for Shawn Michaels would be versus Bret Hart during their Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12, where he captured gold for the first time. To commemorate, Shawn Michaels being number 1 on my list, I just recently acquired this cool PSA DNA certified authentic autograph. This was from 2019 card, and I was really having a hard time. Like I mentioned earlier, I missed out on the boat on purchasing his autograph from this year. It was very affordable at the time, and I just didn't pull the trigger. So I wanted a photo of him back in the 90s, like this. And so it wasn't until really recently that they've been using some of the older photos of him. And so I wanted an on-card photo. I wanted an on-card auto of Shawn Michaels from when he's in the 90s. And so I went ahead and picked this one up. The other ones that they do have are just outside my price range. But I'm really happy with this because it's already encapsulated, and it has the certificate of authenticity. So right there. So that's my list of my favorite top 10 wrestlers of all time. This is not an easy list to compile because it probably adjusts every couple of years. So anyway, that's all I got. Thank you so much for taking the time and hanging out with me.